All right, so let's go ahead and start off with this first question. This one may be inappropriate for children, so if they're around, I suggest you put earmuffs on them or watch this elsewhere. But apparently somebody wants to know my dick size. It's gonna be kind of hard for me to answer because I haven't put a ruler to it since I was 12 years old, but I'll give it a go. Thinking somewhere along the lines of this. Okay, maybe this one?
Babe, really?
All right, what about this?
There you go, champ.
Look, I don't know, like I said, it's been since I was 12 years old since I even gave a shit about that. All I know is it's enough to keep her around. All right, so now that I got that really weird, strange, awkward question out of the way, I'll get to the rest of these questions on this Q&A. Has the sex life always been good? Or did it get good or better after? I guess that wasn't the last weird question. I don't know why the fuck you guys want to know about our sex life so much, but as far as therapy fixing, I don't think that therapy's had anything to do with that. I think my wife and I have always been sexually attracted to each other, so I would never say that we've really ever had any, like, I don't know, bad times in our relationship in that regard. Like, even when we're mad at each other, it's not really something we deprive each other of, so that's just part of our life. We think each other are sexy, and we love each other, so, yeah, fucking weird question. If you were at the same job for 15 plus years but wanted out, but had the fear of bills, what would you do? Well, I pretty much did the same thing other than I was only at my last job for 10 years. So I was in the Marines for 10 years. I had a kid and a wife. Me and Alicia had Cruz. He was like 2.5 years old at the time that I got out. Got out with like $3,000 to our name. We had an apartment already, so we did have bills to pay. We just had a lot of faith in our skill and what we're so passionate about, which is fitness training, that we knew we were going to make something of it. So instead of stressing about the bills and the what ifs and thinking about failing, we just kind of ran with it. We took what we knew best and what we were good at and what we were most passionate about, and we did it every single day, and we sold it, and people saw that in us, so they trusted us and they wanted to work with us, and kind of made it easy, I guess. But the thing is, it's not easy. It's going to be terrifying no matter who you are or where you're at in life. Making that big transition is going to be terrifying, but if it's something that you have faith in, sometimes you got to take that blind leap of faith and really just believe in yourself, bet on yourself, and you will probably get to where you want to be. What was my first impression of Alicia? Well, for those of you who don't know, Alicia was my sister's friend when I was young. That's right, I got my sister's older hot friend. I thought she was a hot little Mexican with a nice butt. Most embarrassing sexual experience with Alicia. I don't think we've had any embarrassing sexual experiences. I've never been embarrassed about anything, like, in regards to her. Well, I've never been embarrassed by something that's happened, like, by her. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe if somebody else watched the things we did, or like, I don't know, maybe this is going to be the first time I'm fucking embarrassed by our sex life because I'm telling you guys about our sex life. But like, between her and I don't think there's really anything ever embarrassing, and I think she'll say the same. Like, I've never, like, been afraid to turn on the lights and look her in the eyes. I don't think she has either. Am I going to get matching nipple piercings? And if so, you'll pay for it. Like, am I going to get one that matches the other? What do you mean? Do you have nipple piercings? Am I going to match you? Do you plan on becoming a mentor in the future for money? That's weird because, like, if you want to talk business coaching or life coaching, business strategy, stuff like that, I think those are things that people should charge for, and I think that those are jobs, and maybe one day, you know, I've already done it a little bit. I've helped people grow their personal training businesses, and I've helped people kind of take the next step in entrepreneurship and whatnot as a charged service. But when I think of a mentor, I don't think of really that's something that you should be charging for. I think when you're mentoring somebody, it's when you take them under your wing, almost as like a guardian, like not a legal guardian, but like a life guardian. Like, I'm going to take you under my wing and I'm going to make sure that you are on the right path to success. And I don't think that's really something you can charge for. I think that's something kind of sacred, because you have coaches, and then I think sometimes those coaches kind of take on that extra role of mentor. You can pay somebody to coach you to do the things the right way. But when somebody takes you on as a mentor, or they take you on as a mentee, I don't think I would ever charge somebody for that. Like, I think that that's something that I would want to do when I'm older and wiser, and I have like a little protege underneath me that I think I can mold into something great one day, and I probably wouldn't charge them. Probably, especially because I go for the underdog, so it's probably gonna be somebody who comes from, doesn't come from money and doesn't have a whole lot to offer anyways, and I just see potential in them and I wanna make them great. So I'll probably never charge for it, but I would like to mentor people. I did in the Marines. We mentored our junior Marines. I do love mentoring, and I do love sharing any knowledge, information I have. Probably just will never ask for money for it. Aside from the 3 months of sex every day, what's the happiest you've been in life? The time we did it for 2.5 months. No, I'm just kidding. Right now, probably. I don't know. I feel like the more life goes on, the happier I get. The stronger, mine and Alicia's relationship gets. The stronger my bond gets with my children. The more my business grows. I always feel like today's my happiest day, and I always have something to be happier than the day before. I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm always progressing. So I wouldn't say that like I've ever had a peak in my life so far where this is the happiest I've been and it's been down since then. I think life is about constantly, being present in the moment and being happy with what you got right now. So I'd say right now is the happiest I've ever been. Who's the one fighter you'd love to go against? The one I could beat. Best and worst part about being a dad. Oh man, the best part about being a dad, I don't know, like, I think looking into my kids' eyes and realizing that they're a part of me, like that I created those little motherfuckers. Something so special about that. Knowing that they're, spitting images of us, that when we do, they're sponges. When we do something, they do it. Like, I'll notice that my son has tendencies, and I'm like, I have pretty much every single one of those tendencies. So when he says fuck a lot, I'm like, okay, well, that's because I say fuck a lot. Same with Alicia, we see them in us. And having that power is just, I don't know, it's an amazing feeling. As far as the worst thing about being a parent, I couldn't say there is a worst thing, because the only thing that like Alicia and I have ever looked at in regards to parenting and thought, if we didn't have the kids, maybe imagine where we'd be at right now in business. And we kind of think of those things every once in a while, but I don't think it's fair, because if you look at our story, we quit drinking and we became the people who we are because we had kids. So even if we didn't have kids, we'd probably be worse off right now anyways. I don't think there's really a worst part for me about being a dad. I will say, if I'm being extremely selfish, it's that I can't do what I want all the time. I have to share that time with my children, but that's also part of the best part about being a dad, is spending the time with them. So kind of a tough question to answer. Favorite thing about Alicia and the least favorite thing. I'd say the favorite thing is she just showed me her boobs behind the camera. She does shit like that. She's trying to distract me.
You didn't even look away.
She's a very intelligent woman. She's a very hard worker. I love having her as a business partner, because I know that most men don't have something like that, and no offense to you ladies who are stay-at-home moms or whatever, but it's really nice to have a wife who is just as ambitious and just as driven and works just as hard as me, because when the two of us combine our powers, it makes her something very powerful, and I appreciate her every single day of my life for that. Outside of business, I mean, she's the same way with our relationship. Like, she just brings a powerful dynamic to our relationship that I couldn't ask for more, and I probably couldn't find anywhere else if I didn't have her. The least favorite part about her is probably when she farts in her sleep. What about Alicia made you fall in love with her and know she was the one? This one's kind of funny, because like I thought I was in love with her from the moment I saw her, because I thought she was just so fucking hot. I was 12 years old. It's like, dude, she's the hottest chick I've ever seen in person. She's my sister's hottest friend by far out of all her friends. And it's funny, because once we got into a relationship, then I was afraid of the commitment. So I was almost like trying to get out of the relationship for a little bit, even though I had the hottest of my sister's friends that my sister ever had. I was trying to get out. I just feared that commitment. But then I ultimately fell in love with her for real. And probably just because she accepts me for who I am, and she's a very supportive wife. Regardless of what I want to do in life, she's like right there with me. She's like, dude, you got this. I got your back. Even if it's a fucking stupid idea. She's just a good partner to have in everything, and especially marriage. All right, one that's not necessarily correlated to sex or my relationship at all. Thoughts on steroid use, good or bad, sport specific and recreational. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say there's a lot worse things out there to do than steroids. So do I think they're bad? Not really. If you're using them in a specific sport where they're banned and you're using it to gain an illegal advantage, then I think it's pretty fucked up. I think it's illegal. It's against the rules. You're cheating. Why not just fake, like say it's fighting, fake your weight, or put some fucking cement in your gloves or something. I don't know. There's all kinds of different ways of cheating, and that is one of them. So I'd say it depends on the sport you're playing, but take something like bodybuilding or powerlifting where there's organizations and they don't test, nor do they really give a fuck if you use them. I would say that it's completely fine. But I would say that if you're gonna use them, you make sure that like your life purpose relies on or revolves around getting big and getting strong, because yeah, they're gonna help you get big and strong, but regardless of what anybody says, they're not completely safe. That you can have negative repercussions from them. You're sticking something foreign inside your body to change your body's chemistry, essentially, to make you fucking huge and strong. Make sure it's important enough for you to do that, because it's gonna fuck with your hormones. There are going to be lasting effects, and if you're doing it just for the looks or just for the strength, and that's not really serving your purpose, like you're not making millions of dollars as your career by having that strength or those looks, then I'd say you may want to rethink it. But if you're trying to be the Mr. Olympia, by all means, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. The sport doesn't even look down on it. I guess it just depends on what you're doing it for, like why you're taking them. But I'm not for or against steroid use, unless it's cheating. If you're using it recreationally, that by all means, go ahead. I mean, that's your prerogative. I would just say make sure it's worth it. And that is all the questions that I have on my Q&A, my personal Q&A. Some of them pretty personal. Thank you, fucking nasty freaks. Yeah, that's it. Sorry it took so long. I've had a lot come up since then. Holidays, got really sick, but glad to finally knock it out for you guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me via DM. Smash that like button. Click the subscribe button. And continue to follow me for more videos, guys.